Welcome back to Infinite Wisdom with the Mystic. I want to thank you guys for joining me, liking, sharing, subscribing. All that you do is greatly appreciated and it never goes unnoticed. Um, all praise is due to the Most High. I share the ancestors of light, known and unknown. I want to thank them for clear, concise, and accurate information. I also want to call in the archangels and ask that they put a shield of protection around me as well as my collective as I channel these divine frequencies for my divine collective. If you would like to donate, my Cash App is the number 5, the letter D, Harmony. That's 5D Harmony. $1, $2, $3, $4. It's all greatly appreciated. Even the likes, the shares, subscribes. It's all appreciated the same. So I had something that I wanted to talk about today, but it changed because things are always changing. Nothing stays the same. You know what I'm hearing? You think I worked this hard to stay the same? People be like, oh, you changed. You think a motherfucker worked this hard to stay the same? Listen, family. I was going to say it is important, but it's beyond important. It's beyond imperative. It's vital that you watch the company that you keep. You know, there's a lot of sayings that we heard growing up. Watch the company you keep. You know, as Jada would say, show me your top 5 friends, I'll show you you. And these are statements or metaphors, if you will, that I will say that has stood the test of time. Because I realized that the company you keep could make you or it could break you. Now, we have to be careful. Like I said, it's vital to especially in this day and age, that you watch who you have around you, because people will try to put their beliefs onto you, their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions, and their perspectives. And so originally what I was going to speak about, what I was going to go in depth about, was thoughts being things, thought forms, how they affect the quantum field, how they can create and shape your reality when you add emotion to them. So hopefully this can go hand in hand with that. So the reason that it's so important that you watch who you have around you is because you don't want another person's reality to become yours, right? So I was having a conversation with someone today, and this person, they like to speak of limitations. 333, and I don't like to speak of limitations. I don't believe in limitations, and I refuse to subject myself to any limitations. I refuse to believe in I can't, when we were made in God's image and God can do all things. So I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? Affirmation, type that down in the comments. I can do all things through Christ. Now, the conversation was about, the person was saying how there are forces that can block you or stop you or block opportunities for you. And I told that person, I don't believe that, because what God has for me, it is for me. Now, this person went on and on, almost as if they kept coming up with different things to, let's say, I'm going to go as far as to say, to ingrain in my consciousness that people can block opportunities for me, or there's forces that can block opportunities for me. No, there are forces and people that can try, but they can't do a damn thing, because I'm not giving away my power to allow them to do anything. So they brought up an example, because there was a TV stand that was getting put together. And they said to me, if you didn't have him to put the TV stand together, it wouldn't get done. I said, yes, it would. I'd do it myself. They said, I don't believe that. I said, that is your belief. And I said, I asked the person that was next to me, I said, if you didn't do that for me, would I or would I not do it for myself? And they said, you would. Even if I didn't do it for myself, I could always go out and pay someone to do it for me. But best believe it's going to get done, because one monkey don't stop my show. I felt the person grow a little more frustrated. So then they said, you said you have to do a reading, right? So I guess they thought that my reading was a personal reading and that somebody was paying me. And they said, and if you had something to do and you were dependent upon that money, whatever you had to do wouldn't get done. It's still going to get done. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And when where there's a positive mind, there's always another opportunity, not an obstacle. So the person literally grew more frustrated, and they tried to mask it with being passionate. You're being passionate about the fact that people can create opportunities for, people can block opportunities for you and create obstacles in your life. I will not subject myself to that belief. And this is something that y'all need to learn. You can't be out here subjecting yourself to the beliefs of other people, because belief creates realities. What you believe. That's another thing we were going to speak about, subconscious programming and beliefs. So we know that beliefs create people's realities. What they believe in creates their reality. Because if a person believes that they can't, then they can't. I'm going to tell you this. A person who believes that they can't pass a test will never pass the test. But a person who believes that they can, even if they don't pass it that time, they will eventually pass that test. Now, mind you, you could say you believe something, but you can't trick the universe. You know, the universe is corresponding to your frequency and your vibration. So you can't trick the universe. The universe knows deep down inside. It knows through your subconscious that you don't actually believe that. And it's going to respond to your beliefs. So you don't have to believe that you could pass the test. You need to believe it. But you could believe that a way will be made. You will somehow get it done. You could have the belief that even if I fail this test today, I will not give up. And eventually I will pass this test. And repetitively thinking that thought, but also taking positive action to do the things that you need to do to pass the test. And I guarantee you, eventually you're going to pass that test. You're going to pass that test. And you got to have that belief that eventually you're going to pass that test. You're going to do what you need to do, and you're going to pass that test. So the person started to get frustrated with me, because what really was happening underneath the surface was that they begin to feel inferior because I didn't have the doubts that they had, and I had more of a belief within myself. So what the person wanted to do was bring me down to their level. They wanted me to agree. They kept making other reasons and what I would call excuses for why a person could block an opportunity for someone. But I wouldn't subject myself, Because at the moment that I agree, I then, when I come to terms with that, I then would start to create that reality or those obstacles for myself. So no, I don't believe that. Deep down within me, I believe that all things are possible. You understand me? It makes me think back to the psychic. When the psychic wanted me to believe that, well, there are forces and this, that, and the third, and I don't care. I said that if God is for me, who can be against me? I'm not gonna let you shape my reality. I refuse to do so. Because a person with a belief that other people can block opportunities for them will always be subject to other people and them creating obstacles for them. You're giving away your power. Even, let's say if a person was to try to create an obstacle for me, because this person really wanted, because I'm a psychic, I can sense that this person wanted to go into malice intent. And they wanted to say that, well, if I did this to you right now, then you wouldn't be able to do. That's where they wanted to go with it. I read between the lines and I read energetically. And I didn't say it to them because they didn't go there, but I knew that they were going there mentally in their mind. And what they didn't know was my response was only going to be, even if you think that you could try to cause me physical harm to block an opportunity, I believe that God could cause you physical harm for trying to cause me physical harm. I believe that you could literally break your motherfucking ankle on your way to trying to put your hands on me. That's what I believe. I'm pretty sure you guys all heard the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. A lot of people don't have willpower. And what happens is when they see an obstacle come up, they deem this as something blocking an opportunity. I don't think like that. If an obstacle does come up in something that I'm doing, maybe, just maybe, I'm being protected from something, or just maybe it's for me to go harder at something so that I could strengthen myself and build more willpower. So meaning, just because an obstacle comes up to something, does that mean I give up on it? No. If at first you don't succeed, you dust yourself off and you try again. Simple as put. Now, a lot of people don't have that willpower. They take rejection and they walk away with it. I don't take rejection. I try again. And I do have a rule that if something is not working, that it is not meant to work. But that does not mean that someone has blocked the opportunity for me. Maybe that opportunity just wasn't for me. So you have to recognize when other people are putting their thoughts, their beliefs, because all of these things are creating your reality onto you. You could be in a room with 5 people and each one of you are experiencing a different reality. It makes me think back to when someone said to me, I could tell this person has a fear of losing their job. And they say, because I have to pay my bills and because of this and because of that. But what they have to, and they say, and it's hard to find another job. That is your belief that it is hard to find another job, and that's why it is hard to find another job. People may say the economy it's bad, it's hard. That is your belief. So the economy is bad, it is hard. And people think that this is as simple as put. Some people, it makes me think of the Science of the Mind book. And there's these affirmations that nothing's too expensive. Everything is as it should be. If you think that it's too expensive, that means you think that you are in lack. The universe is only responding to your thoughts, your frequency, and your vibration. So it is vital that you understand you cannot subject yourself to the beliefs of other people and the thoughts of other people. A lot of programming comes in your childhood, and it is your responsibility to do the reprogramming necessary to reshape your reality. A lot of people want things, but they don't want to do the necessary work to put themselves into alignment with the things that they want. The reason that they always have obstacles are going to come, but the reason they always feel as though an opportunity is being blocked by some outer force is really because they're not putting themselves in alignment with the thing that they want. You don't have to seek opportunities. They will come to you when you are aligned to them. So it really is important who you have around you in the company that you keep. A person could shape your reality if you're not strong enough. We sit and we have conversations, conversing thought forms, energies. And if a person, you got to get to a point where if a person, we're at a point in life where if a person's not even on your energetic frequency and they're not even vibrating to where you are, and you're having a certain conversation with them, you just have to stop talking and you have to go your own way. You don't let them change your mind about what you think and what you believe, especially if the person that you're speaking to is not experiencing a good reality. What they're going through is not good, or it's not that it's negative or good, it's how you perceive it. But if the person is a victim, or they feel as though they're experiencing a lot of negative situations, you would be a fool to listen to them, because clearly they are not doing something right. Now, if there is an individual who has things that you would like to have, things that you desire, or you see that they're in a position, there are people who are in higher positions than us, or in positions we desire to be in, and they're telling you something. There is a thing called resonance. What they're speaking of should resonate with you. You should be listening to what they're saying. Does that mean you have to accept everything they're saying? No. But if their reality is something that you seek to have, then maybe you might want to listen to what they're saying. So on what I'm saying, the person that I'm speaking to, I'm pretty sure they would love right now to be in a position that I'm in life, but yet they wanted to argue with me. That is unwise. Maybe you should take the wisdom that I'm giving you at this moment, See, they are the one blocking their blessings. They are the one blocking the opportunities. Because the opportunity for a new way of thinking is right in front of them. But yet they choose to argue. Yet they choose to reject the knowledge and wisdom. The wisdom, because not only do I have knowledge, but I apply that knowledge in my day-to-day life, which makes it wisdom. I don't get up and turn to the TV. I don't get up and I'm not judging anybody that does. I'm just giving an example. When I'm stressed, I don't go to a bar. I don't smoke a cigarette. I don't do things counterproductive to my health and counterproductive to the things that I'm seeking. I get in alignment with these things. So when I wake up, I like to go to the gym. Studies show that when you work out, there's many health benefits to it. For the mind, for the mental, for the cells. There are things that are, it's good for you. I like to pray. I like to meditate. I like to receive information from my YouTube. I like to listen to certain frequencies. Things that have good benefits to it. A lot of people wonder why things don't change for them, and it's because they don't make changes in their day-to-day life. If you've been doing the same things and thinking the same way, and it's been getting you the same results, is something not telling you to change? Maybe you should go a different route. Maybe you should try something different. And then people start to look at me as egotistical. I'm not egotistical. I'm a person that's standing in my power, and I'm a person that knows. So by the end of discussing this person, I felt like my heart a little fluttered, like a little bit of a weight, because what was happening was that person was getting more and more frustrated, and they were transferring that energy to me. They were projecting that energy and that frustration onto me. Everybody has a aura or a field. What's in their aura? What's in their field? And then when we come in contact, when a person is meditating, doing breath work, working out, trying to eat healthy, putting live foods into their body, the aura grows. Your field could be very expanded, like very expanded, versus a person who puts negative things into their body, negative content, negative, everything is just negative with them. Their aura is small, but it's still there. And then when it comes in contact with yours, you can, because yours is so powerful and you're so attuned, you can sense these subtle frequencies that are emanating off of this person. Now, you won't overpower mine. But if I sense that you're fucking with mine, I'm getting away from you. I'm getting away from you. You won't plug in to my energy because you can't generate your own. You won't. So I just wanted to speak about that with y'all, why it is important, you know, to stay, even though time is an illusion, you know, we live off of it. You think I got time to sit and talk about how people can make obstacles in my life? You think I have time for that? No. I don't have time for that. I'm not thinking about how nobody can make no obstacles in my life. Because I'm not giving them the power to be able to make an obstacle. People would love to think that they have the power to make an obstacle or be a barrier in your life. If a person could be an obstacle in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you right now. So I'm living proof that a person can't be an obstacle. in my life. I don't care what you think, what you say, how you feel. You ain't no obstacle over here. There are many so-called agendas to destroy black people, destroy people in general, and take people's power. There's many agendas. I don't care what agendas is out there. I'm not giving you my power. I won't stop. So how are you really an obstacle to a motherfucker who ain't stopping? You either gonna move out my way or you gonna get ran over. Don't let people create your reality for you. Nobody. Obstacle what? Obstacle who? Obstacle where? I'm stepping over you. I'm going around you. I'm breaking through you. An obstacle ain't nothing but a challenge for me. And I'm up for the challenge. Peace. Namaste. I love y'all.